Hey, you guys, and welcome to Beauty and Grace Podcast. I'm your host, Mariah Gillespie. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. How's everyone doing today? How is everybody's week going? I want to hear all of the stuff. I'll leave some polls down, or you can send me voice memos as well. I would love to hear you guys. So today, we will be talking about what I did for my wedding. I've been seeing this trend go around, and I've been liking what I've been hearing and what I've been seeing, and just seeing how brides of 2023 or in this new year to my 2024 brides, I'm so excited for you. But I've just enjoyed watching videos like this and seeing what everybody else did different, and that weddings are just all completely different now. And I love that, kind of steering away from traditional things, keeping traditional things, and all those things nice. So relax, sit back. I hope you got a cup of coffee because I've got mine, and we're going to get into it. All right. Okay, guys. So I have a whole sheet of things I did different. I was like, okay, yeah, I can definitely talk about this. I'm not gonna have to take any notes or anything. I started like planning out on my Google sheets of my spreadsheets of ideas and lists and things that I've got planned for you guys. And I was like, man, there's so much. And I just started writing, like you can see in this notebook. There's actually like 2 other pages, but we're gonna make this not that long of one. I was like, there's so much stuff that I did for my wedding that I felt like was different compared to when I see other people do things or have seen other weddings, and I'm excited to share with you guys, and maybe you 2024 brides will get some ideas from this, or maybe you'll just be like, cool, she did that, that's great. All right, so the first thing I want to start with is the beginning mornings when you're getting ready and the groom. And you know how some people do first looks, first touch, stuff like that. Yeah, I was making sure that my husband was not ever going to see my dress until the first day, until the day of the wedding, me walking down the aisle. So we did a first prayer / touch, I guess. We were at this beautiful rustic barn venue, and there was this beautiful field and these giant big oak trees. So our wedding photographer had me stand behind the tree, and then my dress was covered up by like this cool, you know, those door shams that people used to have that you can move around and stuff. Yeah. I'm not sure what it's called. It looks like an accordion almost. An accordion like closet door thing. But anyways, so we had one of those, and me and Brenton, I remember I was there first, and then he walked down to where I was, and he prayed over us and prayed over our day, and just that the Lord would be with us during the full day, and that we don't forget the true meaning of what the ceremony and what the day was about. And it was about us, and it was about God and joining that love together, and just coming to that beautiful commitment and that beautiful idea of the bride and the church that God has. So that was just awesome. And then after that, instead of doing like first look with bride and bridesmaids and like mom and stuff, my mom had already gone bridesmaids dress shopping, but she had also gone wedding dress shopping with me already, so she knew what the dress looked like instead of my nana. So I was like, and my maid of honor was the only one, or no, not my maid of honor, my bridesmaid was the only one who came with me to look at the dress. So my other 2 bridesmaids, because I did not have a giant bridal party, she saw the dress. So just the day of, my dress was out in the bridal dressing room where we got ready for the day and did all that stuff. So they saw it. They saw me put it on, and they loved it. It was awesome. But I did a first look with my pawpaw, who is my grandpa on my mom's side, but I call him pawpaw. And it was awesome. We did a first look outside, and this was the first time, guys, that I think I've ever seen my papa like cry. And I'm his little girl. My grandparents, my nana and my papa took care of me a lot, especially after my dad passed away and when mom had to work and stuff. And just when she was busy, I got to spend a lot of free time with them. So I love them so much. So that was amazing, and just watching and feeling all those feelings of my papa seeing my dress. Oh, like, I'm not this little girl anymore. I'm grown up and I'm starting a new exciting chapter that the Lord has for me. And that was just so exciting. A few other things I did different was, since you guys know my dad's passing, when I was 11, I did an in loving memory table for him. So I had a in loving memory of James Wilson sign, and then I had a bunch of pictures of like old pictures from back in the day when my dad was in high school, to when he was a little boy riding a bike, to my parents, their wedding photos, and then like baby photos of my dad with me and mom. And that was just a really sweet moment. I remember the day before the wedding when I was setting up that table, I just started bawling on the ground looking at the photos. It's just a sweet moment, and just remembering and seeing all the sweet times that my parents had together too, and just missing my dad on my wedding day. It is a hard thing to go through, but I knew he was there with me 100%, so that was a great reminder. Another thing I did was an in loving memory reserved seat sign for my dad. So it was reserved for the father of the bride, James Wilson, just so my dad, even though physically he wasn't there, I know spiritually, like a beautiful angel, he was right there sitting in that chair watching me the whole time, and just awesome feeling. And that was something cool. You don't see a lot of brides or people that may have lost a family member do that, but I was going to save that seat front row for my dad. I also did for our guest book. This is one thing that I kind of wish I did different, honestly. Our guest book, we did Polaroid guest book. So there was a guest book, and then there was 2 Polaroid cameras. And the idea was for people to use sticky tape and paste it to the paper in the book and write a note next to it with their photo. Nobody used the tape, so all the photos are completely randomly like just junked in the book. And like there's writings and stuff, but I'm like, which picture goes to people's writing? Because I don't know who, because a lot of people don't leave their names after they took the photo, because I guess they just thought it would be stuck. So I wish we would have done one of the telephone where you can record a message. I thought that was such a cute idea. I saw that the other day on TikTok, and I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have done that. That's so freaking cute. But yeah, for our guest book, we also did have, I don't know how to describe it or what to call it. It's like a handcrafted wooden box that I had made for us that has clear acrylic on the front. And it says the Gillespies, which is our last name. And it was honestly a hot mess to put together. It was like a big puzzle piece wooden box. I don't know, whatever. It was weird, but we had that. And then with that box with our last name on it, we also had cards in front of it next to our guest book, where it was cards of best wishes for the newlyweds, and then the next card was marriage advice that you would like to give to the newlyweds, and then my favorite one was the date night idea cards. And we try at least like once a month from that, because there wasn't like thousands of cards, but from that box, like once a month from that box, we try to pick out a date that we want to do that someone suggested. And we usually try to do date nights once a week, but if not, that always is a good idea to have, because I think it's cute. It's hard to come up with new date ideas after a while sometimes, and it's like, what do we do? Especially when you've been living in the same place for most of your life. You're like, what do we do? Where do we go? So that I definitely recommend. Another thing I did that was different was bridesmaids dresses. Hot topic. I had some beef with some people. Some people were like, why would you do different colors? Why would you do different styles? Because this is my wedding. That's what we have to say. This is my wedding. So with my bridesmaids dresses, they were all 3 different colors, all 3 different styles. And that's because my color scheme was burnt orange and like nature colors, boho nature colors, like forest green, olive green, technically, burnt orange, champagne, and greenery. Binary, like as you can see from my paintings that I just got. I really love greenery. I think it's beautiful, timeless, sleek. And with the white roses, it just made everything tie together. But my maid of honor, I chose her dress out because one, the color, I already knew the colors I wanted, so I had to choose which one was gonna get that color. And this bridesmaid in particular, like one of the most tannest women I think I've ever met. Love her. So I put her in the champagne color because the champagne color was a little bit lighter, but put her in that one. And then my other bridesmaid had olive green, and I loved the way that one looked on her. It was beautiful, made her skin tone looked amazing, her hair looks amazing, and her, like, this is the reason I chose different colors and styles, is because I wanted to fit each individual bridesmaids to the way that it would fit best for them and the way it would look best for them. So just keeping that in mind, it's not always all have to be like, oh, it has to be exact same thing. The different dresses looked beautiful. My other bridesmaid, she had a burnt orange flowy dress, and I thought it was beautiful. It was amazing. And all the different styles, to me, I chose them out so they did fit each bridesmaids in my opinion, and it looked beautiful. I made sure that they all felt decently comfortable. Or not decently comfortable. Made sure they all were comfortable with what they were wearing though. And I just wanted to make sure that they felt beautiful and stunning as well, because yes, as a bride, you are the one who's beautiful, stunning, most important of the day. But I wanted to make sure that my girls were also taken care of and felt comfortable and not, not someone that they're not, you know what I'm saying? And then first dance with my husband, the first dance, we did it to my parents' wedding dance song, actually, which really touched my heart. And it's just one of the sweetest songs I think I've ever heard. And the words to it are exactly how I feel about my husband. Not like, I don't want to say exactly, but like vows, commitment, and stuff like that. Like, that person's your dream come true. You're the only one for me. Saying stuff like that, and I was like, I love this. And my mom started bawling, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I started crying, and then I seen my maid of honor in the corner of my eye crying. I was like, oh my gosh, everybody's crying. But it was awesome. And just dancing to my parents' wedding song, that was something very important for me that I knew even before I met my husband. Like, I've known since I was probably like 13 that I was gonna do my first dance to that song. So it was just awesome. It was really special. Another thing for my wedding, I did an unplugged wedding sign. Unplugged wedding, no phones. I don't want to see people taking pictures of me. I don't want to see people recording from the side shots and all that stuff. Like, no, this day is supposed to be calm, free, and I just get flustered when I see so many people having their phones out and stuff, and I'm like, no, please do not miss the true importance of this wedding and what it stands for. So I just want to make sure everybody, because we're always on our phones daily and it's such a big distraction, I want everybody just to be present and focused on that moment. Another thing during our ceremony that we did that remind me of that is we did a worship time where our family, so his family, his parents, grandparents came up, and brothers came up and prayed over us. And then my parents, or my mom as well, and my grandparents and my uncles came up and prayed over us and just prayed over our relationship, and that God would move, and that it was just the best experience I think I've ever felt. I was crying. Having that many people just praying over you, and it was like a silent prayer, but you could hear whispers and people talking over you, and just having your family know that you have that kind of support behind your back and in your corner is amazing. We did it to the song The Blessing by Carrie Job, and that was super special. It was beautiful. Another thing that we did for our wedding that I would suggest, I don't want to say this is necessarily different, but there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm not sure if I want to do this. Yes, I recommend a videographer, photographer, and a bartender. Those three things I recommend, because one, I was gonna do, oh, and did I say DJ? I'm pretty sure it said DJ. But DJ is most importantly of all, because at first we were not gonna get a DJ, and we were like, no, this isn't gonna work out. Da da da. Like, DJs are a lot of money, and I was like, I can do that. I can edit music on my own. I can put a playlist, and we can just get someone hit play and start. No, Mariah does not know how to do any of that. This girl right here does not know how to do any of that. So we had to get a DJ like is maybe a month before the wedding, a month and a half. And thank goodness he was able to book us in time, have the time to come out. He came all the way from Charlotte. So I was so glad that he was able to make it. Videographer, most definitely, because you want your wedding on video. Photographer, worth the money. Our wedding photos came out beautiful, and we got back like almost 1,000 photos. It was crazy, and they're all beautiful. And one thing I will say about videographer and photographer, make sure that you have had meetings with them. Our videographer from the jump, he asked, like, let's have a meeting. He asked everything from head to toe of what do you want to see, what photos would you like me to capture, or what videos would you like me to make sure in your wedding video, what kind of music do you want for your wedding video. And then our photographer, she was asking me what kind of poses, what inspiration do you have. So making sure that they are getting your vision as well, so you can see exactly what you want to see and not have any regrets or upsetness about that kind of stuff. Make sure you have meetings with them, sit down. It's amazing. I said bartender. Bartender, yes. At first we weren't going to, but then a sweet family friend, thank you so much to her, she bartended for our wedding, and I just could not thank her even more, because I was trying to figure out how in the world, don't get me wrong, because we did not have any liquor at our wedding whatsoever, but like wine and serving stuff like that and ciders, I was like, oh my gosh, how are we gonna do that? There's so many people. You just have to, it's like literally building a little village. Like, you need these people here, serving food, stuff like that. It's crazy, but we made it through it. It was awesome. Another thing I will suggest is a wedding coordinator. Yes, honey, a wedding coordinator. I'm so glad I got a wedding coordinator. At first I was like, no. And at first my maid of honor was actually gonna be my wedding coordinator, because she's been in so many weddings and she's coordinated so many weddings. So I was like, yes, like, why can't you just do both? This girl, one, she just, my maid of honor, she had just had a baby too, so I don't even know why I even asked about that, but I just know she's done a bunch of weddings. I have never really gone to that many weddings in my life. I've only gone to like 2, and then if you include mine, 3. So I haven't been to that many. So I was just a little bit worried. So I got an actual coordinator, and she was amazing. Family friend as well. But she is so efficient, organized, and I knew she was a person for the job. You do not have to worry about anything on your wedding day when you have a coordinator. It is all up to them. They are all in for you on that day. The wedding coordinator is talking to the videographer, the photographer, setting people up, moving people, telling people where to go, direct people, talking to guests, like talking to the DJ, telling the DJ when to cue up the songs, stuff like that. And makeup artist, wedding dress, where's everybody? Like, all the moving parts that I promise you do not want to think about on your wedding day. And I promise you just don't even want to while you're planning a wedding, you literally are just to the point while planning a wedding to where you're like, bro, when is this wedding coming up? So I literally don't have to think about any of this anymore, because it can be that stressful. All I can say is praise the Lord that we were able to get a wedding coordinator, because I don't know if I could deal with the stress on my own wedding day as well. No. Like, nobody wants to go crazy on their own wedding day. You want to enjoy it and feel at peace and not have to think about any more of the hardy, nitty gritty details. So I will recommend that to you guys. I know it may be cost a bit extra, but I'm telling you, it is so worth it. Another thing I will say is cocktail hour. I don't know why this has become controversial. I thought cocktail hour was always normal. If any of you guys used to watch like Four Weddings on TLC or stuff like that, I just thought it was wedding to have a, normal to have a cocktail hour during a wedding. I guess it's becoming controversial. Some people want to leave the wedding early. Cocktail hour was a great space for us to get pictures done with our entire family. Like our photographer moved so quick too, so thank goodness for that. But it literally was like maybe 40 minutes, maybe 30, because it really didn't take us that long. We took photos with our bridal party and then our bridesmaids and groomsmen like individually. We did our individual like bride and groom pictures after the family photos. So prior to that, we did the bridal photos, and that took like 10 minutes with our whole bridal party with the groomsmen and the girls, and that took like 15 minutes. It was super quick. And for our individual photos with like ourselves, like as the bride with just bridesmaids, we did that stuff before the wedding started. While he was inside getting ready and stuff like that, I was outside of the venue with a photographer and my bridesmaids doing our bridal portraits and doing bride and bridesmaids stuff. And then we switched, and then he went out and all that so he can see me. But cocktail hour really helps it, because cocktail hour is just like finger foods, or like, I don't want to say finger foods, but like small treats to make sure people are just tied over for the second, because we know you're starving, you're gonna get your food, but just for an hour, here's a snack, and go and have a great time, listen to some music. So it was nice. It helped us get pictures done, and we were done in like 30-40 minutes with family photos, bridal party, all that. And we came in, did our announcement. I kid you not, this is one thing I regret. We did not eat our food the day of our wedding. So don't worry about food that much. I'm not saying like eating wise, but I'm saying like catering and stuff like that. Yes, it's very, very important. It's very stressful, but my mom took that on for me. Thank goodness. Thank you, Mom. I love you. And praise the Lord for that she had that kind of help and was able to get that food and deliciousness and prepped meal for us. But we did not eat at all that day, so it's not that big of a deal, guys, I promise. Another thing that I will say, let's see, did I miss anything? Oh, last thing, this was my favorite part of the wedding day, besides our ceremony and exchanging our vows. And we also, another thing, we did a foot wash. So for you guys that don't know, the foot wash, it's a symbolism in the Bible of washing those feet, or not those feet, washing thy's feet. So just an act of a servant and servant hearted. So me and my husband, we did wash each other's feet during our ceremony, and at first he did not want to, but I was like, that's something I just felt really called by God lately, is that specific word, and tuning in on the meaning of it and being a servant of the Lord. And that's what marriage is daily sacrificing yourself to that person. So humbling myself, like, I'm going to show you how much I honor, respect, and care for you and love you. I'm going to wash your feet. So we did that. And then last but not least is we did to my bride, to my groom, morning of letters. So his best man, his brother was his best man, Jacob. He came and dropped off my letter, and then my maid of honor, Shelby, dropped off his letter. And we did that exchange, and that's something I recommend. It's just an ease at heart of, those built up feelings. You didn't see your groom the morning of because you're getting ready, and you didn't see him, the night before because you were with your girls, or you at home asleep, getting that beauty rest for the next day. It was just so calming my heart to be able to, when I read, how when you read, people are like, oh, I hear you, like, be able to hear his voice and just feel his love. And I would love to share those letters with you. We do still have them, but we will be keeping those to ourselves because it was just a very beautiful in touch moment, and all the things that he said to me. I don't want anyone to think, oh, because he's telling you the right things that you need to be with him. No. Everything that he said and everything that he has said in our relationship has been the biggest sign that he was the man for me to marry, and the man that God had for me. Was every time he said something, especially like the way he did in that letter, it just showed me more of Jesus and showed me Jesus in him and God working in him. And I just am so excited. And during that time, I'm starting to think about it again. Just so excited to do life. And like, that's how I am right now. Just excited to do life with your partner and the one that God has called you to. So that's it for today's video, though. That is what I did for my wedding that was different or may have been different to others. I hope you guys enjoyed, and this is my first time posting on YouTube, so I'm very excited for that. So guys, give me a follow at Beauty and Grace Podcast on YouTube. It might be under Mariah Gillespie on YouTube as well, but I did also make a new Instagram for the Beauty and Grace podcast and franchise to get started. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today, and I just really enjoyed today. I have a new setup. I have the whole like tripod thing going on. I turn you guys to my new beautiful paintings, and I have giant filming lights, so I'm getting used to this, but I'm so excited to keep going on this journey and pursuing with you guys. I hope you guys have a great day, and thank you for tuning into Beauty and Grace. Bye.